Hello YouTube guys and girls out there. This is Tracy here, and I just was looking through my comment section or my YouTube section, and I got a question from someone that wants to know if I am still doing my video series on introversion and extroversion. Well, I just remembered that I had a few things to do, but yeah, I am going to do that. In fact, I'm doing part 2 of that right now. Okay. This is part 2 of my series on introversion and extroversion. And since I can't expand on it concerning, someone else's experience with that or, as to how they are, I'm going to say this much about it, and hopefully if I keep my hair out of my face, I can explain further. Okay, this is one thing I have to say about introversion and extroversion. Okay, I know, at least for me, that introversion and extroversion, you can see it as far back as childhood. As a child, I was an introvert, but I was surrounded by kids who were extroverted. And some of the more extroverted kids I knew were bullies. Now, not to say that all extroverts are bullies, because they're not. They can be really great people. But when I was growing up, the extroverts I knew, you didn't want to know them. Okay, they hunted kids like me. They didn't want to be bothered with them. They felt that from a glance that we were smarter than them and that we existed to make them look stupid in the event that a conversation, God forbid, would come up. All right, well, one thing I was going to say to get away from that subject, you know that when you're growing up that is the kind of person you are. It's just that you might be growing up without anyone telling you, putting a name to how your DNA is wired. So introversion and extroversion, those two things are hardwired into your DNA and who you are genetically. It is not something that you can comfortably change. You can change it, but it won't be easy. Okay? Your mind is always going to go back to that quiet nature or that loud nature. All right. One thing I was going to say, because I don't have a lot of time on my iPod, one thing I was going to put out there is that I, for one, am an introvert, but I am a different type of introvert. I am an introvert that likes to be outdoors. Okay? I love to be outside. If it's sunny and all that, I'll stay outside until it is dark and cold and I gotta come in. And then when I'm inside, I like to recharge from everything that happened outside while I was outside. Now, I don't necessarily have to be alone, but if I am alone, it still can be an enjoyable day for me because as an introvert, you get everything from within. You take in everything from the external world around you, whether it be your music, your magazines, your books, or even a conversation with a friend that was funny and engaging and great, and you spent that time with that person and you enjoy their company. You come home, if you're not with them, then you recharge based on what happened that day and everything that happened with that best friend. All of my friends have been introverts, with the exception of maybe one extroverted female that I knew. And had I known myself better, her and I probably would never have met. We would have never been friends for as long as we were. But, I thank her because she helped me to know who I am without even knowing she helped me. Okay? The second thing I wanted to say, or third thing I wanted to say, is that the only way I feel that introversion can be a bad thing is if you have a talent that requires that you be somewhat extroverted to allow the world to know what you are capable of. Whether that be an artist, which most of us are, or a singer, which a lot of us are, I am, and a writer, or anything that takes you away from the 9 to 5 but puts you out there in a more creative aspect. That is very important, that your somewhat extroverted side has to come forth, because if you can't be around people, then you cannot express yourself in the way that you should to, get the most out of your talent, because most of us are very talented. We are the creative people. We're the poets. We're the writers. We're the screenwriters. We're the actors. We are those people, okay? Even now, you're not going to find a lot of extroverted actors. You ever notice that if you run into them in public, you can't even hear them above a whisper if you meet them, okay? They're paid to be extroverted. So in a way, it's an unfair society that if you are an introverted person and you are talented, you must go out and express one's talent. If that is what puts bread and butter on your table, you have to express that talent by coming out of yourself and temporarily letting everybody know, or speaking to your own self and saying, today I've got to be around people. Got it. Today I've got to sing. Got it. Today I'm not going to be nervous. I'm not going to suffer from stage fright. I'm not going to allow people to think that I am so into my own head that they don't know that I can entertain them and, make money at it, or just, be out there and be talented. So that is one way where introversion can hinder you if you let it. I don't believe that we are all 100% introverted. I believe there's always more than the other. It's not necessarily all that balanced. There's always more than the other, and either the extroverted side is the bad side and you're working on that, or the introverted side is the good side, but you want to bring that out. You don't want someone to come along and bring you out of your shell. You want to be out of your shell, but at the same time, in no position to be taken advantage of, no position to be changed by someone else's personality, and in no position whatsoever to have to deny who you are personality-wise. Okay, so that is part of my series on introversion, extroversion. I have a lot to talk about, but not a lot of time on my iPod to talk about it. So let me know what your comments are on what I had to say. Hopefully it wasn't too confusing. And as soon as I upload this, maybe tonight I can expand on it and come back. If not, I will continue to go on my computer and try to answer my questions through my Google notifications. And if I don't get back to you right away, you guys had answered me. I saw your comments. I'm sorry I couldn't get to you right away, but I will do what I can to do that. This is from one introvert to all you introverts out there and extroverts. Remember, being introverted doesn't mean you have to be creepy, weird, or afraid of people. It doesn't mean that. It doesn't mean that. It just